Hello boys and girls, welcome to my preview and predicted lineup of Brighton against Arsenal this weekend. And you know what, I think this is the perfect antidote after that defeat on Wednesday. There's nothing like having a game so soon after a defeat to just get back on with things. Now I've seen Mikel Arteta's press conference and he's pretty much saying the same thing. The last thing you want to do is have to wait a long time between matches after you've had a defeat. So the fact that we've got one in such quick succession means that we can actually try and get back to winning ways. Now, it's going to be an interesting game. We've got injury problems. Brighton, they're fighting relegation. So they're going to need the points and they're not going to be no mugs. It's not going to be an easy game. I'm hoping the fact that we did play Wednesday will give us a bit of an advantage because, you know, that first game is always difficult, blowing off the cobwebs and, you know, getting your levels back up again. We actually won't need to do that because we've already played. So our levels should be decent. We should know what to expect. We've had that feeling and we've had the competitive game. Brighton have not yet. And I'm hoping that we can catch them, you know, in the opening 10 minutes or so, most, you know, notably. Because that's going to be key because a lot of teams in this lockdown period, you know, once they've returned, I think we'll have slow starts to the game. So you're looking at that and you're thinking, yeah, maybe we could catch them. But we need to be cautious. And it's wins only now. It's as simple as that. By the time we kick off this game, we will know whether we're 8 points behind 5th or whether we're still only 5 points behind with a game in hand. Because, of course, Tottenham play Manchester United on the Friday night. Manchester United win. They go 8 points clear of us in 5th place. But we do have this as a game in hand. And the reason why that's so significant is because 5th place may well be a Champions League place. Spurs, they're only 1 point ahead of us. So if they don't pick up a win, then we can actually go above them. You know, if we beat Brighton. It's so tight. You know, at the moment we're 9th and, you know, a victory can jump us up a couple of places. But at the same time, a defeat that can drop us down a couple of places. So we've got to be cautious. We've got to be careful. Manchester City, you look at that game and you think, all right, cool. It was a game in hand. It was a game that no one expected us to win. Apart from Liverpool at home, it's going to be our most difficult game in our last 9. So you're looking at it and you're saying, right, now the real business starts. And now we've got to start picking up 3 points. And Brighton, with all due respect to them, are games that we have to win. And we should be winning. If we want to be competing and trying to get back into the Champions League places, then Brighton are the kind of grounds that we need to be going to and picking up 3 points. No ifs, no buts, no maybes, just quite simply 3 points. The team lineup's going to be interesting because, of course, we've had injuries. Pablo Mari's out for the season. Granit Xhaka's out for a while at least. Lucas Torreira, he's still not 100% ready yet. Question marks over Rob Holding. Sokratis looks like he's not going to be available. So, yeah, we've got some selection headaches already. We've gone from having too many defenders to having none. So ironic. Just Arsenal, innit? But, yeah, look, we're going to go and get into the predicted lineup and the formation. And I'm going to go with the 4-3-3. And, of course, like I was explaining in my Man City video, there's transition in and out. And when we do have the ball and when we don't. So just bear that in mind. But we set up as a 4-3-3. So starting off in goal, Leno. And do I even need to explain why? One of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. And I think he proved that again on Wednesday night against Manchester City. So very, very straightforward decision. In the right back position, Hector Bellerin. And I thought he had a decent game against Manchester City. Not bad at all. Looked quite sharp, to be fair. And I'd like to see a little bit more of him in this game, especially in the attacking areas. I want him to push forward a bit more. So yeah, Hector Bellerin. In the centre of defence, the first one, which is a very, very straightforward decision, and that's Mustafi. Now, I never thought I'd see the day that I'm saying Mustafi is a straightforward decision and putting him in ahead of other players because it's them that are the clowns. But Mustafi's been really, really good under Mikel Arteta. And even against Manchester City, I don't think he was that bad. You know, none of the goals were his fault. Tried to keep a good shape. You know, once we went down to 10 men, and he did a good job. So straightforward decision. Now, alongside him, this is where we're going to have a bit of a headache. And I would actually go with Tierney. Left-footed player, so likes that balance. You know, with the centre-backs. Has played that role with Celtic. Played there when Luiz got sent off. Rob Holding, for me, is just not up to speed yet. And I just don't think he's quite ready. So I'd actually go with Tierney in there. Needs must. He's played 90 minutes the other day. And I think he'll do a good job. Because he done all right when he played there against Manchester City. And like I said, he's played in that position before. So he's quite comfortable at it. So that's what I would go with. Now, in the left-back position, I'm going to bring in the young lad Saka. Bring him back into that left-back position. Take him away from that right-hand side. It's a toss-up between him and Kolasinac, but given the fact that Saka was so good in that position before lockdown, I'm going to stick him back there whilst Tierney is playing in the centre of defence. That's what I would go with anyway. Now, in the midfield three, first of all, I'm going to go with Guendouzi, and he's going to have to play that role where the likes of Torreira or Xhaka would be. And he's going to have to be disciplined, but he's also going to have to release the ball a bit quicker. That's the one thing that frustrates me about him, is that he holds on to it too much. His pressing game and the way that he shuts players down, I've got no problem with that, because against Manchester City, he done it really well a lot of the time. So, yeah, it's just those little tweaks to his game that he needs to do. But apart from that, absolutely no problem. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Joe Willock. Now, he didn't have the greatest of games against Manchester City. His work rate was brilliant, and his pressing and the way he was trying to shut, you know, Manchester City down, and he was playing the game plan that Mikel Arteta had, you know, set out. But in this game, playing against Brighton, they're going to have a different formation and style of play to Manchester City. So I'd like to see a bit more from Joe Willock, especially in the attacking areas, a bit more expansive. You know, and I'd like to see, you know, more from him. So, yeah, I'll give him another chance and I would put him in there. Now, the last of that three, I'm going to go with Dani Ceballos. And again, decent enough performance against Manchester City, but I want to see a bit more in that attacking area. Like I said, with Joe Willock, it's not Manchester City we're playing. You know, you should be able to get a bit further forward against Brighton and create more chances. And that's what I want Dani Ceballos to do. Now, in the attacking three, first of all, on the right-hand side, Nicolas Pepe. And I have absolutely no doubt about this one whatsoever. Bit of a surprise that he was on the bench against Manchester City. I do think he would have been brought on if David Luiz had never made his errors and we were still in the game. And I think the game plan went out of the window and there was no point in risking him. But I would actually have Nicolas Pepe starting this game. And I feel that he can get a lot of joy against Brighton. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now, on the left of that three, I'm going to go with Martinelli. Another player that may have been a bit of a surprise that he was left out against Manchester City. But again, for this game, when you see who I have centrally, you'll realise why I'm playing Martinelli there. Because I think it will be a very, very potent front three. So yeah, I've got no issues with this, and I think that he can cause a lot of problems to Brighton. So I'm going to go with Martinelli. Up front, as the main striker, I'm going to go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and it was a very, very quiet evening against Manchester City. But I would like to play him in his more preferred central role. And what I will say is that, you know, he doesn't have to stick to just being central. He can drift out onto that left-hand side and rotate with the likes of Martinelli. You know, when we're defensive, one of the three will drop in, possibly, you know, a Martinelli. And when we're attacking, you can revert into a two. So it could be Martinelli with Aubameyang or Pepe with Aubameyang. You know, there's so many choices. And I think that that front three would be more than enough to win this game. More than enough. So it'd be interesting, and I can't wait to see what Mikel Arteta does. So there we go. That is it for my preview. That is it for my predicted lineup. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think of the lineup. Let me know what you think of the formation. Would you pick the same, or would you do things a little bit differently? Would you go back to a 4-2-3-1? Or is there another formation that you would go with? Remember what I said though, it doesn't stick and stay as a 4-3-3. It changes dependent on when we have the ball and when we don't. But given the fact that Brighton are not Manchester City, I'm hoping we can be a bit more expansive and we can push a bit higher up that pitch and we can cause a lot more problems in the attacking third. And more importantly, we can get some shots on goal. So yeah, that is what I am going to go with. So if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And I will see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.